language is so important, and especially English is so important in our generation today, more than it has ever been. If you have skills, how are you going to get business? Think about it. Everywhere you are, people who are eloquent, people who can speak, they are the ones being paid a lot of money. You ask yourself why. Recently, I talked about the fact that there are some kids who are eloquent better than teachers. And everyone in comments were like, no, what? You're belittling teachers. Guess what? You need to know. You need to know that English is not just a language. It's a global language. Number two, you need to understand the generation we are in today. If it was 1980, English was not that very much important. But now, especially here in Uganda, without jobs, you're going to need to have the ability to start doing business from overseas. And how are you going to do that if you cannot speak? There are people who are telling me, English, you need skills. If you have skills, how are you going to get business? You will need language is so important. And especially English is so important in our generation today, more than it has ever been. Why? Because for you to compete, at least you'll need the foundation of language. Think about it. Everywhere you are, people who are eloquent, people who can speak, they are the ones being paid a lot of money. You ask yourself why. If you want to give your child a strong foundation, emphasize on making sure that your child learns good English, because English will open opportunities. Having a skill is good, but you must have the ability to market that skill. And there is no way how you're going to market that skill in your local language. For example, AI is taking over the world. IT is taking over the world. But everything in IT, everything in AI is being taught in English. So if you can't listen to a YouTube video and understand what they are talking about, then you've been left out. Maybe you go out down there, you may not entirely fail. You can go downtown and sell groceries. You can go downtown and sell matoke or these other things. But where we have reached, I'm telling you this, as a marketing expert, you will need language to connect, because connections are now the most important things that will bring business to you. The reason to why your child should be eloquent in English is one. It's because English is the language of instruction. Schools here in Uganda teach in English. Now, if you find teachers who cannot speak good English, it means even what they are teaching our children, they do not understand. Now, how can you teach what you do not understand? No wonder it was hard for us to understand chemistry. Are they teaching us chemistry in Luganda? Are they teaching us chemistry in Lunyankole? They are not. English is the language of instruction. Teachers, according to the way how things are here, they are supposed to teach in English. Everything is in English. So if you find a teacher speaking broken English, if you find a teacher is not good in English, just know that they are going to transfer that mentality into your child. And guess what? You'll have graduates. Do you know that we have graduates who can't do anything? We have people with degrees and they have nothing. Like, they can't even express themselves. You invite someone in office, they reach there, they start shaking. Oh, I've seen this. You bring someone, they tell you, I have a degree. They are giving, but they can't even express themselves. And why is that? That's because we've had an education system that is so broken. Now, it is even still broken up to now. Now, if it is still broken, at least get the foundation of language. When you learn language, you can use that to actually learn anything. Because right now you can learn anything online. How are you going to learn? How are you going to learn anything online if you can't understand English? English is underrated. English is a language of instruction. It is what schools use to teach. Now, if it's the language they use to teach, why should you ignore it? Because it is the foundation. If someone does not know good English in our education, in our broken education system, you've made things worse. You've made things worse. I would urge you. There are people who think English is not important. English is not important. No wonder you're struggling. You're the way you are. Now, I'm not trying to say that for me who is speaking English, that I'm so good, that no! The advantage we have is that Uganda wasn't colonized by French. The advantage we have is that English is a global language. By learning English, it means you can be here and get opportunities from all over the world. Now, people who think this is colonialism, this is neo-colonialism, yes, but where we are, we need to compete globally, and we can use English to communicate, to get opportunities. You get the point? If you think English is not important, and you think you don't need it, it is okay. But in my opinion, as a .com thinker, as someone with experience in marketing, I've seen that people who are doing well are people who have the ability to express themselves and attract opportunities. Try to put some weight. There are some people who say, there are people who speak good English, but then they are jobless. Yes, it's very possible to speak good English and become jobless, ladies and gentlemen. And we have seen it. Because I'm saying English is supposed to be the foundation where you can now build something. You get me? I'm saying have English as the foundation, then learn anything. If you learn anything, now you have your English will allow you to market that thing. I'm thinking in terms of IT, in terms of technology, in terms of science. Then you will market. You'll be able to market that skill and you'll get better opportunities. If I have clients from the US right now, whom I'm doing work for, they are not going to be the same. They are not going to be as the same as clients from here. Why? Because here people don't have money, here people pay less. But if you can do something that will help you to attract opportunities from first world countries, you have a chance. Now, there are people who are like, hey, do Germans speak English? Do Germans speak English? Look, they are more developed than us. They have more opportunities than us. We are poor. All we can do is have the foundation that will allow you to actually start transacting with them. How are you going to transact with them? People forget that they are in a third world country. People are forgetting that Uganda is a third world country. Now, if you're in a third world country, do not compare yourself with Germans and the Chinese, because they are not. For them, their foundation is different. They do not need English actually. Why? Because where they are, the foundation is so good. They are trained differently. Their education system, if we are being taught everything in our local languages, I would say, wonderful. Learn everything in your local language, then produce things. People will come looking for those things that you have produced. But the challenge is our education system does not provide people who can produce things. It's not skills based. Now, if it is not skills based, what do you need to do? You will need to learn skills. And to learn skills, what do you need to do? At least have the foundation of language. Then it will help you to learn any skill. You can learn programming right now. You can learn any skill. You can learn communication. You can learn almost anything on YouTube for free. But you need English as the basic foundation to give yourself leverage, to give yourself a competitive advantage in the market. So my argument is, if the teachers are not speaking good English, do not give them your child, because you'll have killed the foundation. No offense to teachers, but most teachers didn't want to be teachers. They just found themselves into teaching. Now, I have teachers who are my friends. I do not want to cause, I have teachers who are my friends, and some are good people, but truth remains truth. If you realize you're weak in English and you're a teacher, please understand that English is a language of instruction. According to our syllabuses, according to our education system, you're supposed to teach in English. So if you're poor, just do one thing. Focus on how can I improve. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, you remain there. And actually you'll be wiped out with time. For parents out there, if you have a child and the child is eloquent in English, just know that that's a good foundation for your child to actually now learn something new, for your child to actually master any skill, and you be sure that a combination of language, a combination of communication, and a skill is something that is going to give your child a competitive advantage, is something that is going to give your child a competitive advantage in the marketplace out there. And what will happen is, it will be very easy for this child to actually make it. It's going to be very easy for this child to navigate the waters of competition. Leave alone these people who think English is not important. English is not important. Remember, the generation we are in a .com generation. We are in a generation of creating relationships. We are in a generation of influence. The more connections you have, the more people you can reach out, the more opportunities you will manage to get.